Here's a story from Grandpa for my three favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. Today I'm going to read one of my favorite stories. It's taken from a very old Chinese legend, and the person who wrote and illustrated it for this book wrote it in both English and Chinese. You'll be able to see the Chinese characters on every page, which I don't know how to read, but Emma and Audrey's mom, Amy, can. It would be really fun to hear her read it in Chinese, wouldn't it? Anyway, here's the story. The Water Dragon, a Chinese Legend. Illustrated and retold in English and Chinese by Li Jian. Long, long ago in China, a little boy named Ah Bao lived in a small mountain village. Every day Ah Bao went into the forest to collect wood. One day as he gathered wood, Ah Bao saw a shiny red stone lying in the grass. He picked it up, wondering what it could be. Ah Bao put the shiny red stone in his rice crock. He immediately heard the rice rattling inside. Soon his crock was overflowing with rice. Ah Bao now had more rice than he could ever eat. Ah Bao set the shiny red stone in his money jar. The coins inside the jar started rattling too. Soon the jar was overflowing with coins. Ah Bao now also had more money than he could ever spend. The shiny red stone must be magical. When his neighbors were out of rice, Ah Bao filled their rice crocks with the magic power of the red stone. When his neighbors were out of money, Ah Bao gave them money made by the magic power of the red stone. But ever since Ah Bao found the magic stone, it had stopped raining. In time, the rivers dried up and the crops died. Ah Bao placed the magic stone in his water bucket, hoping it would overflow with water. To his surprise, the magic stone absorbed all the water in the bucket instead. How can we live without water, he thought. That night, Ah Bao dreamed of a white water dragon dancing in the clouds and showering the land with much needed water. Early the next morning, Ah Bao decided to search for the water dragon. He packed food and the magic stone, then set off. Some days later, Ah Bao met a giant snake blocking the road at the foot of a huge mountain. "Do you know where I can find the water dragon?" Ah Bao asked. "If you move the rock off my tail, I will tell you where he is," the snake replied. Ah Bao found a branch and lifted the rock off the snake's tail. The giant snake gave Ah Bao a piece of his skin and said, "Boy, this will be very useful to you on your journey. The water dragon that you are looking for lives in the far east. Be careful, because you will meet a greedy red monster along the way." Ah Bao thanked the giant snake for his snake skin and continued his journey toward the east. He came to a nearly dry riverbed where he noticed a carp swimming in a pool of water. "Do you know where I can find the water dragon?" Ah Bao asked. "If you move me to the well over there, I will tell you where he is," the fish replied. Ah Bao scooped the carp out of the river with both hands and placed him in the well. The fish gave Ah Bao a piece of his skin with many scales on it and said, "Boy, this will be very useful to you on your journey. The water dragon that you're looking for lives in the far east. Be careful, because you will meet a greedy red monster along the way." Ah Bao thanked the fish for his scales and set off once again. Soon he was walking through a forest and came across a deer whose antlers were stuck in a tree. "Do you know where I can find the water dragon?" Ah Bao asked. "If you remove my antlers, I will tell you where he is," the deer replied. Ah Bao took his axe and cut the antlers from the deer. The deer gave Ah Bao his antlers and said, "Boy, this will be very useful to you on your journey. The water dragon that you are looking for lives in the far east. Be careful, because you will meet a greedy red monster along the way." Ah Bao thanked the deer for his antlers and continued on his journey. Soon he came to a high cliff where he met two eagles. "Do you know where I can find the water dragon?" Ah Bao asked. "If you take my child to our nest at the top of the cliff, I will tell you where he is," an eagle replied. Ah Bao climbed the cliff and laid the little eagle in his nest. The eagle gave Ah Bao a pair of claws and said, "Boy, this will be very useful to you on your journey. The water dragon that you're looking for lives in the Far East. Be careful, because you will meet a greedy red monster on your journey." Ah Bao thanked the eagles for the claws and continued his journey. It was not long before Ah Bao met the red monster that everyone had warned him about. "Do you know where I can find the water dragon?" Ah Bao asked. "You won't be able to find the dragon unless you have the Dragon Ball," the red monster replied sulkily. "What does the Dragon Ball look like? Does it look like my red stone?" Ah Bao asked. "Yes, that's it. You should not have it. Give it to me." The greedy red monster jumped at Ah Bao to grab the Dragon Ball. Knowing that he would not be able to defeat the monster, Ah Bao ran as fast as he could. "I will eat you up if you run away," the red monster shouted as he chased Ah Bao to the edge of the cliff. "If I lose this Dragon Ball, I will never find the water dragon," Ah Bao thought to himself. He quickly swallowed the Dragon Ball and jumped off the cliff. Ah Bao landed in a deep pool of water at the base of the cliff. After swimming to shore, Ah Bao felt extremely thirsty. He started to drink from the pool of water and emptied it in seconds. Still, he was thirsty. Ah Bao rushed to the East China Sea and started to drink the seawater. He kept drinking and drinking until his thirst was satisfied. All of a sudden, Ah Bao's body was wrapped in the snakeskin. The deer's antlers attached to his head, the scales from the fish covered his back. His hands and feet were replaced by the claws from the eagles, and his eyes became red and shiny like the Dragon Ball. He flew into the sky, dancing in the clouds. Then he swooped down over the thirsty field, spraying water as he went. Ah Bao had turned into the water dragon. The water dragon showered water on the dry earth until it turned green again. That's the legend told of the kind water dragon who was really just a little boy named Ah Bao. And that's the end of the story. Here's why I like this story so much. In this story, a boy is looking for something, the water dragon, because he sees that his village is really dry and needs water. As he's looking for the water dragon, he collects a number of things: the snake skin, the deer antlers, the fish scales, the eagle claws, and the Dragon Ball that he didn't know he would need at the time, but ended up being very useful to him when he becomes the thing he's looking for. That's pretty much a perfect description of what we all go through as children when we grow up to be adults. We start off by exploring the world and trying to find out what we think the world needs. Along the way, we collect ideas and skills and knowledge, and in the end, we become what we were looking for. The ideas and skills and knowledge that we collected along the way helps us to become what we are looking for, sometimes in very surprising ways. The little boy in the story had no idea he was going to become a water dragon, but he did, and he was able to make the world a better place. Now, most of us are not going to become water dragons, although that would be a very fun thing to be. But when you learn about the world as children and decide that what the world needs most is artists or poets or engineers or anything else that you decide is really important, then you can become that thing. If you dream it, you can become it. And that's very, very cool. Always remember that Grandpa loves you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.